We're super excited to announce a new residency hosted here at the Current, focusing on the restoration of a Bahamian mural painted by Kip Soldwedel in 1942. It was salvaged from the walls of a bar in a Cable Beach home just moments before its demolition.
The mural itself was a commission for a house, and essentially it's just Kip Soldwedel's kind of like interpretation of his father's work.
It captures a part of life that we don't look at downtown Nassau that way anymore.
This Soldwedel mural was displayed in the bar of the home for more than 70 years. The subsequent owners hosted countless parties and events in the space for Bahamian and international society, including royalty and Hollywood icons.
The house itself is lovely, but when walking through and then you suddenly go into this bar, which is a big room, it was just like stepping back in time.
Everybody used to go into the bar and say, "Oh, I love that painting," and everybody take a lot of pictures of it.
Everybody loved the room. It just was such a nice place to be.
When the home was recently sold to a developer, steps had to be taken to save this piece of Bahamian history from demolition.
I extracted a promise from the developer that if they did take that house down, they would save the mural.
Sue Barnes was extremely concerned about preserving those murals. Because she knew of my involvement in the art world in the Bahamas, she contacted me, and I went and looked at them, and I took tons of pictures, and it really is a wonderful piece.
A friend, Kim Aranja, came up to me and said, "Katrina, you have to do something about these murals. A friend of mine, Sue Barnes, is selling her house, and there are these wonderful murals in it, and they're planning eventually on destroying the house."
There were other around the island, and we've lost all of them. So that we still had these murals intact and salvageable was, I think, something really important, because it speaks to how people lived at a certain era.
Presently, the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas Assistant Curator Richardo Barrett is being supported by the National Institution in his training by professional conservator Katrina Vanderlip in restoring the work.
He's actually a fine artist, but through his interest in the process of removing them from the wall, realized that actually it was something he could be interested in.
Being at the gallery, a lot of the work we have by some from master artists, or who we would consider like master Bahamian artists, they have issues now, and it's not even like some of these pieces aren't even 10 years old. So that got me interested in trying to have a way for me to learn how to actually save works.
The Current is excited to partner with our friends at the NAGB in providing a space to complete this important work.
A lot of the team came down and actually helped us take the piece off of the wall, help stabilize it before we did it. We were able to borrow a vehicle from Bahama and actually bring it here, and it was stored here. So even now in the restoration process, the Current is actually there.
The Current was able to store them in an air-conditioned, humidity-controlled space for us, and then also to dedicate the space to do the restoration work, because when they're unrolled, they're very big, and to give Richardo the peace and the concentration he needed.
Richardo and I were thrilled when we managed to arrange to have the space and the exposure to do it here, because the exposure for me is vital. You have to expose people to the importance of art conservation and the funding for it.
So many people are going through the studio space and asking Richardo about his work, learning about the history of the Bahamas, learning about the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, and basically introducing people to our culture.
With this combined effort, we look forward to exposing Bahamians and visitors to this historical mural, helping to illuminate our Bahamian narrative.
There's no long art history in the Bahamas. For me, this piece encapsulates actually having the fun of the detective work for me of finding about art history in the Bahamas.
The more people who could see the process, learn about the process, hear about the process, it's good to just get it in the minds of people that art conservation is a thing that we should take seriously. This piece being a part of the National Collection now is going to be one of the oldest pieces of its scale, because it's a huge mural.
I think it's important for the Bahamas to conserve our heritage, and I fear that we've let so many things go by the wayside.
I think you can't educate the public enough about the importance of preserving your past, caring about your past, and preserving beauty. I think it's the most exciting project that I've come across.
It just makes you want to cry, because it was really it's just one of those things that in history that was so lovely, and it's so sad that it's gone. I mean, the house and the property, and it's very, very sad. But I'm just so grateful that that got saved.
For me to know that it's being restored and kept for posterity is very important, because it is a snapshot, that mural, of a time which has vanished in Nassau.
It was really very important for us to have the Current as an ally, otherwise I'm not sure we would have been able to get this done.
The Current is happy to play a role in this restoration and to aid in the preservation of Bahamian art for generations to come.